Hello and welcome to yet another podcast of the Hydro Geek newsletter. Today about today we will discuss about the very important topic. It is regarding the specialization hydroinformatics. This is a very new specialization. Lots among us even doesn't know that this type of specializations exist. But nowadays, due to the massive development in the technology of AI, that means artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, Internet of Things, integrated communication technologies, due to the massive and multiplying development of this type of technologies, they are now utilized in various field of core engineering. So when this type of technology is used in water resource development problems, then, or rather, I will say the subject which deals with the application of AI, ML, data science, IoT, ICTs in water resource development problems, that subject or that specialization is to be referred as hydroinformatics. When these technologies are used in geology, then it is known as geoinformatics. And when it is used in environmental science, it is known as environmental informatics, and so on. If you used it in structure, it is structural informatics. So the main point of individuality of hydroinformatics from the other specialization, like say for example hydrology. So many people say, well, there is no difference between hydroinformatics and hydrology, or hydroinformatics and water resource, because they concentrate on the term hydro. They do not concentrate on the term informatics. So there lies the problem. If you consider the term informatics, then you know why hydro and water is completely two different specialization under a macro specialization of water resource. You can say that. You can say that this is a micro specialization. But when the application of this type of informatics in water resource is growing steadily and successfully, then there is an urgent need to separate these two subjects, even if they are micro specialization. You cannot overlap hydroinformatics with hydrology or water resource, because in case of hydrology we deal with the different concepts related to hydrology. That means when water falls as a rain, then what happens? Okay, so these interrelationship and interrelationship regarding the various events that occur after rainfall reaches earth crust, that type of theory is learned when you opt for a course in hydrology. Now you will say whether informatics is not applied in hydrology. Yes, it does. But when it is doing, if you are concerned more about hydrology than about informatics, then you are basically a hydrologist. You are not an hydroinformatics engineer. Hydroinformatics is more concerned about the application of informatics in hydrology. or rather in water resource. Okay, there the person who is applying may or may not be a hydrologist. If he or she has a knowledge in hydrology, it is a advance. It is a bonus. Okay, but if he doesn't have, then someone from the hydrologist sector will have to help him such that he can successfully solve the problem with applying informatics. Okay, so if you think computer science and ECE, electronics and communication engineering, are two separate subjects, or information technology IT and computer science is two separate subjects, then you must also agree that hydroinformatics and hydrology is two separate subjects. You see, when you are applying programming to solve electrical or electronics or even civil, mechanical, etc. problems, that programming is comes under the computer science department. The students from a computer science department is more accustomed or more expert with the programming rather than with the knowledge of civil, mechanical, electrical, etc. core engineering concept. So, or rather, in today's world, programming is applied in uh, to solve all these type of problems. Now, what we are doing? The civil engineers, they try to learn programming and try to solve their problem with the help of this programming. But if a programmer joins a civil engineer, then the output will be more faster and also more reliable because this programmer is expert in this program and the civil engineer is expert in civil engineering concept. So when these two experts come, then the output is a magnificent. It's a wonderful, highly efficient solution for the given problem, right? So now, same thing when a hydroinformatics engineer comes with a hydrology, rather, he will not require the expert of hydrologist because he knows or he's supposed to know both hydrology and informatics. But his knowledge in informatics will be more compared to its knowledge in hydrology. That is why he is in hydroinformatics. Here we are more concerned about the applicability of informatics in a subject known as hydrology. But when hydrologist, he or she can also learn informatics. But his main point of expertise will be the hydrology, not the informatics. If he fails to do some program, you cannot scold him because he is a hydrologist, not a hydroinformatics engineer. So that is the difference between the hydroinformatics and hydrology. Because the hydroinformatics is more concerned about the informatics. But yes, he always will use the informatics into hydro related problem. And these hydro related problems does not only say hydrology. There is a subject known as hydraulic. There also, when you apply informatics, it become hydroinformatics. There is a subject known as hydropower. When you apply informatics in hydropower, what will say that? Hydroinformatics, right? So you cannot classify hydro into a civil engineering basket because hydro is such a subject, it comes under civil, mechanical, electrical baskets. If you are into hydrology, civil basket. If you are into hydraulic, mechanical basket. If you are into hydropower, electrical basket. Okay. But what we do is nowadays, or what our experienced professors or many people from that water resource section, they think water resource is a property of civil engineering. I don't know why they think so. Because water resource is not only a property of civil engineering, but it is also a property of mechanical, electrical, agriculture, and many other relevant branches. It is also a property of computer science. Okay, so you cannot classify water resource into any one single discipline. That is why water resources are multidisciplinary subjects, under which hydroinformatics is a part, which is also a multidisciplinary subject. A hydrologist, expert in hydropower, or hydraulic designer, when they apply informatics to solve their problems, they are known as hydroinformatic engineers. Okay. Now, after this recent development of this informatics domain, the world needs hydroinformatics specialists. But the question is, are you ready? Do you have the knowledge of hydroinformatics? If not, then gain the knowledge, do a master's in hydroinformatics, and you will be the one who will benefit or who will get a special recognition uh, for this uh, type of expertise. So you are the one who will be in advantageous position. Okay. So this podcast is all about the employment and higher studies opportunities in hydroinformatics, right? So where can you get employment if you are a hydroinformatics engineer? There are numerous opportunities. Okay. So what are they? You will find a place for you in research institutes and universities. Of course, engage in cutting edge hydrological research, contributing to innovative solutions in flood prediction, water conservation, and climate adaptation. You can also get your job in government water agencies who work on policy development, watershed management, disaster preparedness strategies, etc. You can be a very good addition to their team. Okay. Next is environmental consultancies. You can apply hydroinformatics expertise to access water quality, optimize irrigation systems, design sustainable water infrastructure. Real time monitoring of water quality and pollution is a sought after uh, expertise in all over the world in major environmental consultancies. Not only that, not only in this research institutes or government or environment, you can be a very good addition to tech and AI companies. You can collaborate on AI driven hydrological modeling, sensor based monitoring, smart water management solution, etc. You can also be a part of the UN, World Bank, Asian Development Bank to contribute to the global water security projects, tackling issues like transboundary water governance and climate resilience, right? And yes, certainly you have a place in startup. You could by yourself you can open a startup, right? You are a very sought after people if you are a hydroinformatics engineer in the startup and innovation hubs. You can leverage hydroinformatics in entrepreneurial ventures, developing tools for real-time water monitoring and forecasting systems. Okay, and not only in employment, there are various scopes in higher study and specialization. Just I have said that you can do MTech in hydroinformatics. In NIT Agartala, you have a very broad scope to do a MTech in hydroinformatics. You can explore interdisciplinary research in AI driven water modeling, disaster resilience, hydrological forecasting, etc. Not only hydrology, you can do hydraulic modeling, you can do hydropower scheduling task. You can optimize those scheduling tasks. You can optimize the design of micro turbines. Okay, you can design captive hydropower plant with the help of AI and ML, machine learning. So there are various scopes if you do a PhD or MTech in hydroinformatics. You can also do some specialized certifications like GIS, remote sensing, machine learning applications in hydrology, hydropower, hydraulic engineering. You can do postdoctoral studies, right? Because there are lots of postdoctoral opportunities in the subjects or in the topics like flood vulnerability and modeling, cloud burst impact analysis, climate adaptation strategies, right? Not only this, underwater image processing studies, development of drone based water harvesting location feasibility studies, right? So the opportunity and scope is massive. You do not just, you cannot have the idea, right? Now, still hydroinformatics is growing. It is in the nascent stage. Just the seedling has been sprouted, right? So uh, if you can embark in this initial phase of hydroinformatics, then in the future you can reap lots of profit from this knowledge of yours. Okay, so you can also do collaborative academic industry projects, participates in research partnership, bridging academia and applied hydroinformatics solutions. You can also be a part of global exchange programs, scholarships. There are lots of funding available in this type of new concept of research. Okay, so especially with increasing climate uncertainties and water related challenges, professionals in hydroinformatics are and will be in high demand, whether through employment or further education. Postgraduate and doctoral engineers will surely play a critical role in shaping sustainable water solutions if they are educated in these new concepts of hydroinformatics, right? So this very podcast is all about to highlight the scope and opportunity of this subject, hydroinformatics. And if you do a master's or a PhD in this type of subjects, remember, you can be a civil engineering graduate, you can be a electrical engineering graduate, you can be a mechanical engineering graduate, you can be a agriculture engineering graduate. You can opt for your master degree in case of hydroinformatics, because in all these subjects you can work with water, and if you are working with water and you are interested to learn how to apply informatics in water, then hydroinformatics is your subject. With this, I'll stop this podcast, and I'll be happy if at least few of you get encouraged from this podcast and join your higher studies in the field of hydroinformatics engineering. With this, I close this podcast, and if you like it, kindly share, kindly give a like, and also subscribe to this podcast. So, goodbye for now, and see you next week.